You don't need healing. You need responsibility. You need action. You need to do something with your fucking life right fucking now. You know, you've been through pain. I've been through pain. Many people have been through pain. I'm a Senior Mindset Masculinity Coach, and I will help you to become the best version of yourself if you want to. And I always talk about pain, embracing the pain. I also been through some shit. So have you. So have every other man out there. It is normal. You know, your pain don't have to be like my pain. I saw people dead in front of me, but I also had a heartbreak. I also had some easy stuff. I also had some issues with my dad or with my mother. Pain is pain. Your pain could be that you have a hard time in a school or anything like that, getting bullied. I also got bullied. Like, pain is pain. Let's not compare our pain. But let's accept that you've been through pain. Let's accept that you experience pain. But the difference is, especially with people who've been through some shit, they're always talking about healing, you know, trauma. Talking about they need to go to somebody who talk to them and then talk about that pain and do nothing with it, crying about the pain, talk about that pain again, and then crying about the pain again, and then talk about the pain again, and then nothing changes. But you feel better inside because now you feel comfortable sharing your story with somebody, and you still not change anything in your life. There's a difference between talking about your trauma and using that trauma or the pain you had to become the best version of yourself because you got a motivator right there. You got something inside of you, right? You know, when I was young, I was always like, why me? Why him? Why my best friend? Why my sister? Why we all been through so much shit and why we have to do that? You know, I think I was like 12 years old and I saw a woman falling from the 8th floor right in front of my feet. And they put me into therapy after that, talking about my feelings and shit. And I can tell you right now, that did nothing for me. I did not feel better. I did not feel understood because especially the people who are your therapists never been through the same shit. They don't have the same feelings. They will never understand you. So why should you talk to anyone like that? They're just getting paid for that shit. If you really want to get healed or anything like that, take responsibility for your life and use that bad circumstances, the shit that you saw, the pain to build something. Because the only thing I thought about was, I never want my kids to see that shit. I don't want my sisters to see that. I don't want my father and my mother to see anything like that again. So the only thing I can do is make money, become capable, strong, and move. Get to a better city. Know better people. Be better, be strong, be capable. Provide and protect them. That's the only thing I can do. Not crying about your life and sitting there with a therapist who had a good life. Especially these people came from good circumstances. The only traumas they had was a heartbreak or anything like that. Oh, my narcissistic boyfriend. Shut the fuck up, you little bitch. You cannot help me with my problems. You don't know what I've been through. So why should I talk to you about my problems? So I feel better for 5 minutes and after I go back to my trash life because I still live in that hood where I see all of that shit happening. I got no money. I cannot move. How can you help me? You can't. And that's the reality for 80% of men. If you have a heartbreak, you cannot talk to your friends about it and cry. You need solutions. That's the only thing we need as a man. There's a problem, you need a solution. That's the way you make money. That's the way you become proud. And that's the way you become strong, capable, masculine. So you don't need healing. You need responsibility. Take your pain and build with it. Responsibility turns broken men into masculine warriors. That's what you need to be, a masculine warrior.